tried to record with a special guest of mine. His name's Casey White. There was some technical difficulties, and after trying to edit everything, the sound was just completely messed up. So we're gonna push back bringing in Casey until next week. I was bringing in Casey because we were planning to do these team reviews, and it didn't work out because of the difficulty that just mentioned. So we'll push that to next week. And today I'll just be on my own, and we're gonna be talking some NFL topics. So without further ado, let's get started. Like I said, my name is Nathan DeWin. I'll be your host for Around the Quarterback, a new podcast specifically focused on the NFL and the news, headlines, and rumors surrounding the league. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Uh, Episodes will be dropping every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on Spotify. And you can catch me here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So happy Wednesday to you guys out there. And if you see it the next day, happy Thursday to you as well. Now, let's get started. First thing we're going to discuss today is Jair Alexander, who got an extension with the Green Bay Packers for the long run, a 4-year, $84 million extension. And he is now the highest paid corner in the NFL. He was chosen in the first round in 2018. He was a Pro Bowl corner in 2020. And honestly, he has made his case as one of the best corners when healthy in the NFL. In 2020, like I just mentioned, quarterbacks had a 67.4 rating when throwing in his direction. He only allowed 41 catches and was targeted 80 times, which is really good. He suffered an injury in 2021 that only limited him to about 4 games, which is, obviously sad to hear. He returned late in the year, played a game in the postseason, but as we know, the Packers didn't make it to the Super Bowl or the conference championship, unfortunately. So right now, look, Alexander has the whole offseason to get fully healthy and get ready to get back on the field for a team that, it seems they won't be as dominant as they used to be. You talk about a team that lost Devontae Adams. But in a way, you did open cap space, which led to the extension for Alexander, and you re-signed Russell Douglas, and etc. The Packers did bring in Sammy Watkins to replace the departed Adams now at the wide receiver position, and they also drafted Christian Watson in the second round. So for Green Bay, look, you're not going to be as dominant, in my opinion, won't be as dominant as they used to be. Nonetheless, the Packers are the Packers, and you have Aaron Rodgers, and when you have a quarterback like that, you should feel great in terms of being able to win games. So regardless of losing Devontae, you still have a great defense led by Alexander and whatnot. So we'll see what happens with the Packers, but I just want to bring up Alexander getting the extension, 4 years, $84 million. So congrats to him, and best wishes for his future. Now, the New Orleans Saints, not ironically, but surprisingly, couldn't find the right word there, have made some headlines recently. Drew Brees has announced he's going to be out of NBC after being an analyst there for 1 year. And Sean Payton, Brees' former coach, heads to Fox for the upcoming 2022 season. Now, for Sean Payton, I do want to bring up, apparently he's going to be in Fox for this year. He's still open to coaching. We do know about the whole rumor thing that Sean Payton and Tom Brady were actually going to be in Miami together for this upcoming season before the whole Brian Flores lawsuit just ruined all of those plans. So I guess it makes sense that Payton heads to Fox to be an analyst there. But to me, surprisingly, Drew Brees is out of. I mean, he was pretty good as an analyst, not so much as an announcer. I believe there's people who didn't like the way his style was. So I believe it was during the Cincinnati Las Vegas wildcard game where Brees was one of the commentators alongside Mike Tirico, and it just didn't go well with the viewers. So, but as we all know, apparently Drew Brees is sort of teasing to come back to the NFL. There's a tweet. This is quote: "Despite speculation from the media about my future this fall, I'm currently undecided. I may work for NBC. I might play football again. I may focus on business and philanthropy. I may train for the pickleball tour, senior golf tour, coach my kids, or all the above. I'll let you know." End quote. Now, It's great. If he decides to work for NBC again or a different network, great. If he focuses on his philanthropy or pickleball or coaching his kids or hey, golf. For a guy his age, golf is great. A great sport to take up. Um, all that's fine. But returning to the NFL, okay, let's be completely honest. Drew Brees is not returning to the NFL. He's 43 years old. He has a record of 172 and 114. He has thrown for 571 touchdowns and only 243 interceptions. But his 571 touchdowns are tied for second all time in NFL history. He's a 13-time Pro Bowler. He's a Super Bowl champ, as we all know. Why would you come back? You've done everything that you wanted to do or that you could accomplish. Of course, look, we know about Brady and he's pushing towards 45 and whatnot, and maybe Breeze is looking at that and saying, I want to try that. No, 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 no. Look, you cannot. In 2019 and 2020, he wasn't able to stay healthy. Yes, the team went 17-6 when he played, but his arm strength wasn't what it used to be. Let's take a look. In 2018, his yards per attempt was 8.2. In 2019 and 2020, that went down to 7.9 and 7.5, respectively. Now, the team made the playoffs in 2020, but the Bucks feasted on Drew Brees. Brees had a 5.5 yards per attempt during that playoff appearance in 2020. I think the Saints faced the Bucks during that year in the playoffs. Look, Brees doesn't have it anymore. We saw what happened when Brees, pushed the 40 years old range, I should say. It just didn't look good. And yeah, maybe he can train and go on a Tom Brady diet and come back and what. No, but don't do it. Don't risk it. You're second in passing touchdowns of all time. That may not be passed ever again. Tom Brady is first. So are you trying to push Brady and try to get that? You're not going to get first place. So just stop. Go coach your kids. Go be an analyst again. Don't come back to the NFL. I love Drew. I respect Drew. As a fan, it was cool to see him dominate in the NFL for years. But when you have to hang it up, you got to hang it up. And Brees hung it up a couple years ago. Just stop there. There's no point in coming back. Just don't do it. But as we all know, Drew Brees will let us know once his decision is made and what he wants to do. So we'll just leave it at that and go from there. The Detroit Lions, no primetime games whatsoever for this Detroit team that played really hard last year. Ironically, every game begins as late as only 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Basically, all their games start in the Pacific Time because I live in California. All of the Lions games start at 10 a.m. So if you want to watch the Lions, you're going to have to always watch them at 10. Apparently, Coach Dan Campbell has no problem with it, which I respect. Look, Campbell's a great coach. We saw what he did last year with that squad, and we'll get to that in a bit. So they played on Thanksgiving last year. They lost on a game-winning field goal against Chicago during that Thanksgiving game. But look, this is what I mean when they play hard. 5 games last year, they lost by 4 points or less. We know about Dan Campbell. So we know in the beginning of the year, Jared Goff struggled and everything. But once Dan Campbell was like, you know what? Give me the play calling duties. Let me take control of the offense. This team started performing. They did finish 3-13-1. I get it. Yeah, they tied with the Steelers, I believe, which is a weird game to watch. Because, I mean, it's always weird when you're when the game ends in a tie. Regardless, like I said, 5 games they lost by 4 points or less. I mean, they were heartbreaking. I'm talking game-winning field goals. I believe like early in the year it was Justin Tucker who had like a 60-something yarder to win against Detroit. It was terrible. It was sad to see because this team, no matter how down they are, no matter how or what ways they try to win, they do whatever it takes. And Dan Campbell, when he was announced as a head coach, was like, "We're gonna take their kneecaps or whatever." Obviously, they didn't do that because you never want to just aim for the knee all the time. Otherwise, that'd be just terrible, and that might ruin your reputation as a team. Regardless, though, this team was fun to watch. I enjoyed it, and I'm a Giants. I enjoyed it, because unlike Joe Judge, the former Giants head coach, Campbell knew what he was doing. He with Jared Goff, who was traded from the Rams to Detroit, he trusted him. And of course he can bring up the whole Pittsburgh game, I think, where he threw like 10 pass attempts and they just ran the ball down the Steelers' throats. Look, I just wish the Lions had at least, well, the Jets have a primetime game against Jacksonville on Thursday Night Football late in the year. Come on. Well, I get it. You can say, oh, the Jets were 4-13 and the Lions were 3-13. No, it doesn't matter. Look, the Lions, they're not great. They're not going to win anything anytime soon. But at least give them one. If the Jets are going to have one, give the Lions. Let the people see Aiden Hutchinson. They drafted him number 2 overall because the Jacks messed up and drafted Trayvon Walker number 1. So why would you give Jacksonville a primetime game when people likely want to see Aiden Hutchinson more than Trayvon Walker? It's just the facts. I would want to see Aiden Hutchinson more than Trayvon Walker. I don't want to see the Jags and, Trevor Lawrence and whatnot, but come on, Detroit, give Detroit some respect. Look, the Lions overall have the 5th easiest strength of schedule, according to the team records from 2021. But you know what? It's all good because there's a chance they might get flexed into a primetime game depending on how well Detroit does. They could, honestly, to me, they could open some eyes this upcoming year, but we'll see. With the team with Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams. I forgot about him, a guy who tore his ACL with Alabama last year, and that was just a brutal injury. And then he might take a while for him to get healthy. But regardless, though, when he's healthy, he's going to be a great target for Jared Goff. And then, like I said, Aiden Hutchinson on the defensive end, he's going to be an anchor back there on the not back there on the defensive line. I'm sorry, I'm saying as if he's like a corner or something. No, he's a defensive end. So with him leading the defense, I really believe Detroit is going to open some eyes and definitely 100% improve on their three wins from last year. So, you know what, Detroit, do your thing, prove them wrong, and we'll go from there. All right. So, and last but not least, Tariq Cohen. What a brutal 3 years for this guy. Apparently, he tore his Achilles or ruptured it or whatever the case may be during a workout session a couple of days ago. This was on Instagram Live when it happened, and it's been a rough 3 years. This guy tore his ACL during the 2020 season against the Falcons in Week 3. He had a chance to be back for training camp in 2021, but he just felt like he wasn't ready to get back on the field. And when you're a guy who can do it all, run, catch, return, punts, and kicks, you have a lot to do. And he just felt like he wasn't ready, so he didn't play last year. And this was the year, for Cohen. It was like, okay, I know David Montgomery's ahead of me, but I can come in, be the third down back to come out of the backfield and catch passes for Justin Fields. And now he ruptured his Achilles during this workout. And this is what scares me about players in the offseason. It's great that they work out. It really is. You put in the work in, trying to get stronger, faster, whatever the case may be. But for a guy that hasn't played since 2020, this guy's best season was in 2018, and it feels so long ago. Like I said, he was never a lead back, but he was a weapon out of the backfield. He had 71 catches, 5 touchdowns in 2018. He had 99 carries for 444 yards and 3 touchdowns. He made the Pro Bowl, which was great. and for everything to go downhill for him, it's terrible to see. And we just hope that he gets better uh soon. And like I just, rupturing your Achilles is something guys like Kobe Bryant went through, God rest his soul. So look, it's likely Cohen won't return till the 2023 season, which is going to be even longer from now. And who knows what the Bears will decide to do with him. But right now, he's currently a Chicago Bear. And according to the depth chart, it's going to be David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, Darrington Evans, Treston Ebner are their four backs on the depth chart. So we'll see what the Bears do from here. And we'll see what happens. So. But yeah, this was a fun episode of Around the Quarterback. We went through a few topics today. And like I mentioned, there was some technical issues with bringing in my special guest, Casey White, into the show. We did record an episode, but there were just so many sound issues and whatnot. So we'll push that towards next week. Casey will be a weekly guest on the show, and we'll be doing team reviews on every team in the NFL. We'll look at their roster, their records and stats from last year, make predictions based off the schedule, as the schedule was released last week. And honestly, I cannot wait for football season to start again. I'm very, very excited. And so next week we'll dive into it once again. And but this was a great first episode of Around the Quarterback. And look, we have a lot more in store. Not just Casey coming in as a weekly guest, but we have other guests come in to talk some football, and of course the other sports around the world, including basketball and baseball, etc. That's going to be a different segment called not around, but outside the league. So like once a week or so, we'll bring in a guest to talk about some hoops or some dingers and whatnot. It's going to be fun. So, but we'll dive into that once we get to there. But today we discussed Tariq Cohen. Prayers to him. Hope he gets better soon, as he's ruptured his Achilles, or he tore it, whatever the case may be. Jair Alexander getting the extension with the Packers and staying with them for the long run. Drew Brees teasing to come back to the NFL, but I believe he should not come back whatsoever. And last, we talked about Dan Campbell and his Detroit Lions, and they have no prime time games, as all their games start at 1 p.m. Eastern time. In my opinion, is they should have at least one, because if the Jets have one, Detroit should have one. I'm just saying. And even Jacksonville, like I said, they have one too. So come on, give Detroit some love. Come on, man, it's Detroit. As always, my name is Nathan Nguyen. Thank you so much for listening to Around the Quarterback. Like I said, though, I am live on the show Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. Episodes will drop on the podcast on Spotify Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And if you ever miss out on an episode of Around the Quarterback and you want to see my face again, catch me on Belly Up TV on Thursdays, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. But as always, my name is Nathan, your host. Thank you for watching and listening to Around the Quarterback. Follow us on Twitter at Around the QB, and you can follow my personal Twitter at Nathan_Nguyen24. Nguyen is spelled Nguyen. Thank you to Belly Up TV. Thank you to Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code Case and Nate for a free deposit match up to $100. Underdog Fantasy is a great app. From drafts to daily picks to over unders, there's something for everyone. And if you use the promo code Case and Nate, you get a free deposit match up to $100. So, for example, you deposit $100, you get $100 back. So you have $200 to use on bets on Underdog Fantasy. But like I said, Case and Nate, all caps, and you get that free deposit match. So Underdog Fantasy, thank you so much for sponsoring our podcast, and they are the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. I'll see y'all next time. Have a great rest of your day.